Hello, everyone. I have been given the honor of introducing a most revered individual and renowned teacher, Mr. Johnny Bad Boy Baynes. Although this epithet rolls off the tongue with ease, he confidently admitted to me that it is hardly accurate and only used in jest. Mr. Baynes is a family man first and foremost. His family includes all of us at Fairport High School. He has always been a family man, and during a childhood alongside 7 brothers and 2 sisters. He is proud to have been married for 42 years to his wife and brought 4 children into this world, who in turn gifted him 8 grandchildren. He has always loved writing and teaching, and once he began teaching 39 years ago at Baynes, he realized it was his love. He holds a record of longest continuous employment at Fairport High School at a respectable 37 years. And in 1982, he became the judge of Palmyra and served for 10 years. Along with his commitment at Fairport High School, he currently holds the title of President of the Fairport Educators Association, or simply known as the Teachers Union. Now, without further ado, please give it up for Mr. Baynes.
Zach, that was sweet. Thank you. Thank you to our musicians. Some of you the last time that you'll play. And Doc and T and Mr. O and Kristen and all of you for giving us the music for all these years. Thank you, Emily. Emily, where are you? You went back out there. Emily, your sense of human agency in your speech, that we're the authors of our lives. It was well done, beautifully done. Danny T, thanks for bringing some humor, because I'm not bringing any. Maybe a little. And Duncan, you evoked that deep memory of being a kid growing up in Fairport, so thank you. Well, tonight's an important night for me. I'm going to try to keep my remarks brief, but I have a lot on my heart, and I'm going to try to be concise. I gave my first commencement address in 1981, 34 years ago. It was terrible. I was a punk. You know, a school teacher's really kind of a natural-born imposter. There I was when I started. I was 23. Imagine, you're 5 years older than you are now, right? And I'm teaching at Aquinas. I got 35 boys in the class. It was all boys then. Some of these guys are shaving every day. I'm still like a once-a-weeker. And I'm up there charading, I guess, or pretending that I know what I'm doing. Because you can't let anybody think that you don't know what you're doing. And I had this little voice in my head. You don't even have it together. Who are you to tell people what to do? Because teachers do tell people what to do. They're kind of like bullies, really. Like, all right, sit down, do this, write that. And all the while, you kind of have this voice in your head, when are you going to shut up? I think there's a certain fraudulence that many of us feel, and I know I felt it as a young teacher. And I worked on it. I thought, well, if I just get really, really good at teaching, the fraudulence will go away. But then I had another problem. The blessings in my life kept accumulating. And as the blessings accumulated, I kept saying, I'm not worth that. And what do we do? What do we do with our fraudulence? What do we do with our unworthiness? I tried everything to deal with that, and I only found one answer. And that's gratitude. And in recent years, my blessings have exploded. I have 8 grandchildren. I have you kids. I mean, I go to work every day, and I read poems with these kids. They pay me to read poems with these kids. And I'm overwhelmed by that. So the only thing I've been able to do recently is I just kind of hide in places at Fairport High School and say prayers of thanks. Jake Sennert caught me last year because I do it right during class. I look out the window, and I just say these prayers. And my classroom faces east. So when I open my blind and I look out the window, I look to the right, and I've been looking for the American flag here, and I don't see it. That'll never happen again, and I apologize for that. It was an oversight. Is it here? Oh, there it is. I asked Mr. Clark, where is it? It was behind the podium, Mr. Clark. I look at the American flag, my eye goes right to it, and I get this jolt of inspiration and recrimination. I think about my mom and dad raising 10 kids, growing up in the Depression and going through World War II, and then everybody, my grandparents, my aunts and uncles, and everything that we did to build America. For what? For our inalienable right to be selfish? Or am I going to be a better teacher today? When I look at that flag, I say, you better be a better teacher today. You better teach these kids who come in this room as if the future of America depends on it. As if the future of American democracy depends on it. Because it does. And then I get into a little argument with America. Because I'm an American, I like to complain. And I say, by the way, America, while we're talking, what is going on with the way we talk about these young people in this country? I am sick and tired of picking up the newspaper and reading an article about what's wrong with American kids. Why aren't they good enough at this, or why aren't they good enough at that? You know, America, you know what the real question is? It's not, are these kids good enough for America? The question is America good enough for these kids? I get a little excited when I talk to America. And then my eyes go down from the flag, and I see the garden. And that garden was built by Colin Stokes and Jim Nowak in 1986, and Colin Stokes is retiring today after a distinguished career as a Fairport teacher, and I think we got to give him a hand. In 1986, the most horrible thing that I ever saw happen to any community happened, and 4 of our precious children died in an accident on Route 250 on a beautiful June day, and 1 child, young person from Victor, 5 young people. It was so devastating. Senior skip day, which, by the way, we're never going to have again, and tell your younger brothers and sisters, senior skip day was a long tradition. It was senior funeral day, that very day. And when I look at that garden, I think about those kids and their families. I say a prayer for them every day. And in the fall, on a fine day in the fall, I always bring my classes out to the garden. And then we walk over, I tell them the story of it. And we walk over, there's a bench for Deb, who was killed on 9/11 at the Pentagon. And then we go to the west side of the school. And we look at the garden there and the plantings. Mrs. Boyham's bench, and I talk about the history of Fairport High School. This morning I was with Mr. Hargrave at 6:15 in the morning. Not one of you was there. And we were alone in the hall, and we had some stuff going on. We had a little cry, really. We had a little cry and a hug, and there was not a person there. But you were there. Your spirits were there. You're leaving. Your bodies are leaving, but your spirits aren't. In fact, that high school, some people tell me it's kind of ugly. I can't even see it that way. To me, it's like an old shoe, my favorite shoe. And it's a spirit box for me, full of thousands and thousands of spirits of amazing people. You're joining that tribe tonight. You're joining the tribe, which is the alumni of Fairport High School. And I'm going to remember your spirit. I'm going to feel it all around me. And don't ever forget that, because you left that behind. Well, then, the kids start walking in the room, and I'm feeling a little better about myself. And then I see you, and then I think about your parents. And you think about this tonight. What they decided to do with their lives. You know, they had it all, your parents, round about 1997. Or maybe a little earlier than that if you're not the firstborn. Oh, they had it all. They had security. They had freedom. They had control. And it all went away because they chose life. They chose love. They chose you. Think about it. They're holding you in their arms. And just the day before, they thought they knew something about life. And there you are, all gooey and wrinkly. And they look down at you and they say, "What did I know? I knew nothing about the world. The only world that matters to me is the world with this child." They entered into a blessed enslavement. They entered into a state of tenderness and vulnerability. Take care with them. You know, the biggest graduation gift you can get is the one you give yourself. Because if you're harboring any unforgiveness, if you will, for your mom and dad about something, it'd be a good time to start working on forgiving them. And because you know what? If you don't know this now, sorry to break it to you, they're not perfect. In fact, sometimes they can be really hurting and they can be broken. And they can make mistakes. You don't know how many mistakes I've made. We don't have time for that. But their love is pure. When you forgive them, when you forgive those trespasses, oh my God, what a gift you've given yourself. I've been working on forgiving my dad for 28 years. That's when he died, 28 years ago. It's a big project. You know, one of the things about those alumni from Fairport High, too, that I'm most proud of, one of them was just named the greatest musician in the world. I don't even care that much about what you accomplish. I'm just so proud of all the kids from Fairport, how good they are. And you know what? The best thing that Fairport grads have become is amazing parents. I think our graduates, and I think you guys, if you choose to, you're going to be amazing parents. All right, let's talk about you right now. Let's talk about the class of 2015. Yeah. You will be, for me and for the people on this stage and for our school community, you will always be the class that lifted us up. You lifted each other up. You lifted up our school. The principal resigns. Not everybody handled it well. You guys stepped right up and said, we're going to welcome Mr. Clark. We're going to support him. We're going to join hands with him. We lift Nick Damiani and Keenan Cardone get up in front of the school. Where does this happen? Two young men, they share their hearts. They share their stories. They share their lives. They lift us up. And then you, what did you do? You lifted them up by listening and being present and being attentive. We lift each other up when we're present and listening for each other. Your precious classmate, Hannah, we know it. She lifted us up by the courage and the generosity with which she lived her life. But you lifted her up and her family up with your love and support. Sometimes it's a paradox. The best way to lift each other up is just to hold on to each other. And you lifted each other up in a million ways that no one saw. Just you and another classmate. When you were do-si-doing and Alamaning at the hoedown, you lifted each other up. When you walked down the hall and there was some art and somebody put some art, your classmate, and you looked at the art. When you were practicing, nobody even saw you. You were at the rink. You were at the gym. You were in the first period class with Mr. O with your strings. And you believed in each other. When you believe in each other, you believed in me. A broken down old school teacher. You believed in me and you gave me the opportunity to step up here and tell you how much I love you, how much I love teaching here, and how much I love this community. And that all happened because you believed in me. When we believe in each other, we lift each other up. Thank you. All right, I got one assignment for you, your final assignment. I want you to think of this arena as a mountaintop. It is not the tallest mountain. There are taller mountains, and there are mountains beyond those mountains. And don't be tricked by these outfits where they all look alike. Every journey up this mountain was an individual journey. Every one of you walked alone. And maybe for 2 or 3 of you, it was so gradual you didn't even know you're going uphill. I doubt that. For some of you, you made an incredibly arduous, steep journey. A lot of people in America don't know how hard it is to be young in this country. I don't even think they know. Some of these people with these opinions of you don't even know anything about you. They don't know you. So I want you to think about a classmate who climbed the steep side of the mountain. And tonight, the last night that you'll all be together, I want you to think about what that person went through. Maybe this friend of yours, or better yet, ex-friend. Or maybe this kid who got bullied, or better yet, maybe you bullied the kid. Maybe this kid had to get up at 4:50 in the city of Rochester to take buses to get out here to go to school at Fairport, and then got home at night at 4:30 at night. Maybe this kid's parents lost a job. Maybe this kid's family was affected by a major health issue, or your classmate was affected by a major health issue. Maybe learning was difficult for this kid. You know what I'm saying? Maybe tonight, before you part, you just go up and give like a fist bump, or maybe like a shoulder bump. Or maybe you just with your eyes do it. I'm a word guy. This is what I say to the kids I know who climb the steep side of the mountain. I think it's just about all of you. I know it wasn't easy. You should be so proud. I'm proud of you. All right, I'm done. I've got one thing left. Please stand, all the graduates, please. Please stand. On behalf of your parents, because I'm a parent, and on behalf of your grandparents, because I'm a grandparent, and on behalf of every teacher you've ever met in the Fairport Central School District, because I've been the leader of the Fairport teachers, well, since many years before you were born, I offer you this blessing. May you live a long, healthy, and happy life. May you have the opportunity to love and serve those who loved and served you. May you have a ready heart and a willing spirit to love and serve in places you've not yet been, in circumstances unforeseen, people you do not yet know, children not yet born. May you meet with uncommon success in the transactional world of cars and money and houses, and may you meet with even greater success in the transformational world of hugs and sunrises and campfires and poems and dancing and poems and poems. And may you have many, many choices, but may you always in the end discern the choice that puts you at the intersection of the just and the good. And at that intersection of justice and goodness, if you're all alone there, and you might be all alone there, don't move. Gather people around you. Create a new city, a better city. Make this world better. Oh, and by the way, that intersection of justice and goodness, the transportation to the next world, that's the #1 pickup spot. So may you be there. And finally, key word in every speech, may you say, every day of your life, all the days, I am a graduate of Fairport High School. I want to see your hands. The class of, I want to see them, and I want to hear you. The class of 2. No, okay, that's got to be better. The class of 2, 0, 1, 5!
Please be seated.